No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I'm bringing you guys an interview I'm very excited to do. We have Tulo, aka the father of Draco the Ruler, in the building today. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right, man.
No, yeah.
All right.
I'm excited to have you on here, man. It's honestly trippy. I had never even thought about hitting you up or trying to do the backstory and figure out what was going on with Draco's parents and everything. And then you did an interview a couple of months ago, I believe, maybe a month ago, and it's been making some waves. And I watched the whole thing. I was super intrigued, and here we are. So let's do your backstory, I guess, just to start things off. Where exactly are you from? And let's just hear about your early days.
Okay, so I would have to say that I grew up in Carson.
Okay.
And then, with my parents. And then once I got on my own past 18 years old, then LA.
Okay.
And that's like right off of there, off of 107th and Normandy, in between Butler and Normandy.
Okay. And this is, what year were you born? Because you're like
I'm old.
62, right?
I'll be 63 in December.
63. So that means that you're like, you were born 62?
1962.
62. Wow. And I guess what was your family life like, and what was growing up in LA like?
Oh man, it was rough out there in LA. You know what I'm saying? It was especially the street that I stayed on, 107th Street. It was real bad. It was real bad. It was real rough over there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Whew, man, that was bad. I went through a lot over there. It was a tornado over there.
Okay.
So, I'm a very known person over there. A lot of people in that area, all around there, they know who I am as Tulo. But
were you someone who was fully in the streets, or were you someone who was trying to kind of stay out of it?
I kind of was. I was kind of like the guy that was popular because I used to street race.
Okay.
And I was one of the known street racers. We hung out over there on Florence and Main on Wednesday and Thursday nights. And then kind of was a music guy. I was all into the music. I was like making beats and, making songs and stuff like back then when the MPC was out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were trying to stay out the streets, but were you kind of dipping and dabbling too? Because when I was talking to somebody, they told me that you became a Hoover at some point there. I don't know what your standing is with all that.
The politics. Okay, so I'm gonna just do a little bit on I'm gonna do a little bit on the communities. I'm not gonna do a lot on the community though. So it used to be over there where I stayed at. My auntie, she owned the property. So it was, a little clique over there. They called themselves the Maze Gang. So, they was doing their thing for a while over there. And then it was my auntie's. It was her duplexes. So one day, the homies came over there. They like, no, ain't no such thing as no Maze Gang on this street. All y'all Hoovers now, pretty much. That's how that went down.
So it's like one of these situations we hear about, crews sort of getting rolled up into.
Yeah, kind of like that. That they was like, no, y'all can't be doing that. Because like the Maze dudes, they were just like dudes who rapped, made money, kind of stuff like that. But they were like, that's not gonna go down. So that's kind of like how it transitioned into that, and that's pretty.
Kind of sounds like the Stinc Team.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
In a way, except they never got turned into a formal street gang.
Really similar. It was really similar.
Definitely. So, okay, you graduated high school or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to Narbonne High School.
Okay. And did you go to college? What did you do after high school?
No, I went to college like a year or so because I had got into music and I started doing my own thing as full-fledged at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. We used to hang out at the Red Onion. That was my place, little thing, because I was a habitual clubber. So I used to go to the Red Onion. And one night I went up there and I seen this beautiful lady. I'm like, hey, dang, she look good. I ain't never seen her before, right? You know how that goes through your head. And next thing you know, got to talking to her or whatever. And the strange thing is, it finds out that she lives around the corner from my mom.
Okay.
Which I was staying with my mom and in Carson in the Patch. And that one day I was walking my Rockwaller and I seen this dude out there in the front with a big Rockwaller like mine. So me and him got to talking, which was her brother, Sebastian. Mm-hmm. That was her brother. And I was like, that's a nice dog. And we exchanged our little thing. And mine is he was a Danish breed. And I think I had a German Rockwaller at the particular time. And then finds out, she comes out on the porch and asks her brother, who are you talking to? And I'm like, wait, And I pointed to her like, you know, you're the person I met at the Red Onion. And, you know, that's pretty much how that went, man.
So it was just love from then on out. Like how much of your life do you guys actually spend together?
We spent a lot of time together. Once from that point on, we were together.
Okay.
We were together.
And how long before you end up having Draco?
2 years.
And do you only have 2 kids, or there's a daughter as well, right?
It's Ivory, it's Devontae, and Duro.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 3 kids. And how long are you together before you have the first child?
I think we were together probably about a year and a half or 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you guys like super committed, serious relationship, or were you still like super in the streets running around?
We had the principles back then. Now, is it me and you? Let me know.
You were going steady.
What are we doing here? Okay, you know. So yeah, it was me and her.
Okay. And was it a intentional pregnancy?
Yeah.
Okay.
We wanted the kids. Yeah. We wanted the kids. Yeah.
And like, what kind of environment was this like? Like, what was it like being a young parent in this whole environment? It just sounds like it must have been pretty interesting in the mid '80s.
It was different, but back then that was a normal thing. You get a girl, you know what I'm saying, at a young age. It's a little different now. But
it's more normalized to have kids later on.
Yeah,
now,
yeah. It was normal. Yeah, it was normal.
Nobody knew how to pull out back then. I mean, it just feels like that's kind of accurate in a way. Like when you just see how much people were breeding, like they just weren't really even thinking about it. Okay, so was there anything like when Draco's born? Does anything in particular stand out that would really separate him from other kids? And like when does that kind of start to shine through?
It's separate. As soon as he turned about 5 years old, he showed leadership right away.
Really?
I gotta tell you guys this story, man. So this is when I knew that Draco was something special and he was like a leader of the pack. I'm like, hey, Darlene, where's Duro at? She said, I don't know. He's in there in the living room. I was like, no, he's not in the living room. She said, well, maybe he's out there in the front. I went out there. He wasn't out there in the front. Nobody has heard this story before. And so come to find out, his mom used to always walk because she liked to exercise and stuff, get up in the morning, and she would walk up Normandy to the donut shop. What's that big donut shop over there? Kendall's. Is it Kendall's? The big one with the big donut on Normandy and Century. Huh?
Brandy's?
Oh, the lady was telling him, where's your mother at, boy? You know how that goes. Yeah.
I mean, my kid is almost 5, and like the idea of her even walking down the street is like so crazy. Like it would just never happen.
We was nervous. We was panicking, and he up there trying to get a donut. And so that right there tell you, when Draco say he jumped off the porch at an early age, he is not lying.
So is he just like out of control in general?
No, not out of control. Just I'm going to be a person that's going to learn this world, and I'm going to be a leader, and I'm going to do my own thing. He left at 5. Like,
right,
bro, I don't need moms. Mom showed me how to get here, so I'm going to start going to the donut shop on my own. I was like, no, you can't do that, son. You can't be just...
But so like, does this start to manifest itself in other parts of his, because I feel like the same kid who's just going to walk down the street to go to the donut shop is also not going to do a school assignment that he doesn't feel like doing.
Well,
that kind of stuff.
Well,
he's not going to just get a job, part-time job.
Yeah,
you know,
and Duro liked it to be liked the attention, because I was getting reports from when he was in elementary school from the teachers, and they were telling me that Duro liked to make the whole class laugh, and everybody, the teachers say something, he'd be in there clowning, making all of the other students in there laugh, and he would be in there making music, playing the beats with his hand, and doing his little raps back then. Yeah, he was something else, man. And Lord forgive, when we taught him the candy game, what did we do that for?
The selling candy outside places.
Oh, man, why did I do that? Because they was like, Dad, we want to make some money. How can we make some money? I'm like, what y'all need some money for? Oh, Dad, we just want to get some money. I'm like, you guys don't got no bills, no responsibilities. Y'all don't need no money. I said, all right, I tell y'all what y'all can do. Y'all can get some money. All y'all got to do is buy a box of candy. And you buy a box of candy for this amount of dollars, and you can make like 2 to 3 times the amount. How are we going to do that, Dad? I say, okay, so you pay $6 for the candy, and then you sell each candy bar for X amount of dollars. Or a dollar or whatever it was, and then you double. Oh, okay, yeah, Dad, I want to do Dros. He was there. I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. Where do we go? Where do we go? I said, okay, we can go to this gas station right here on Manchester and Western. So that's where they started off, right there, Manchester and Western. And they would sell a little candy. I bet some ladies probably, you'd be like, wait a minute, that is that little kid I used to buy. When they see Draco now, they'd be like, wait, that's that little kid, because his face hasn't changed.
Did you tell him, hey, it's okay to lie and say that this is you raising money for your basketball team or whatever? Because that's what I feel like kids always do, and they always like normal people just fall for it, or were they just selling candy with no pretense?
They just now whether they lied or whether they were behind my back and said that to get extra dollars. It's a possibility because he was really clever and smart. But I would just tell him this is a way to make money. And then he considered that to be his job. He would be waking me up, Dad, can I want to go get some candy. I want to go get some candy and I want to go to the gas station and sell it. And if they wasn't there, like I said, they would be down there, Louisiana Chicken, down the street on Manchester, selling candy.
And him and Ralfy were how many years apart in age?
Not even about a year.
Oh, only a year.
Yeah, it was like stair steps.
Right, and they were just inseparable.
Yeah, they was inseparable. Yeah, Duro would be the kind of like the little faster leader guy, and Devontae would watch everything through them eyes, watch everything Duro do. Okay, yeah, we could do this. We can get away with this. And Devontae, just like now, it's like, man, come on.
That's crazy. So, at what point, like, how old are they approximately when things start to get rocky with their mother?
Okay, so I say they started overriding the perimeter, right about overriding her perimeter. I say about 11 and 9, because the schools were, from what I heard, the schools were been trying to get in touch with me. And they was like, well, where's his dad at? You know what I'm saying? You know how that go. We broke up. And
okay, but that's why I was asking, like, at what age do you guys kind of break up where you weren't in the house on a consistent basis?
We broke up around I say when they were about 7.
Okay.
About 7. So then it was that cat and mouse game. I find out where they are. She moved. Tell everybody in the neighborhood. Don't tell my baby daddy where I'm at. If y'all see a man, come over here. Because I had a ponytail. See a man, come over here with a long ponytail. Don't tell him where I live. You know what I'm saying? So it was just that, you know how that go. Everybody knows how this game go. When the relationship ends, it gets bitter. And it gets bitter between the couples. And then, okay, I'm punish this dude. He ain't going to be able to, he got to go through me for everything. And it was bad.
Why would you say that it ended?
I would say it ended because, without throwing anybody under the bus, it just got too verbal. It got too verbal, and it got too much destruction in front of the children. Just arguing, and just I couldn't do it, man. I can't.
Okay, and so at that point, do you feel like she was kind of was she using the kids as leverage, or like why did you like how did the relationship go from there? Because I feel like there's two basic narratives at this point in her life, in their lives, which is like, one way of looking at it is that you just weren't around, and the other way that you've put out there is that the mom was kind of intentionally keeping you away from them.
Definitely, that's 100% the truth. I mean, it's not to throw her up under the bus. I'm sure she did the best that she could. You know what I'm saying? But definitely. Because, like I said, if Draco and Ralfy would have been staying with me, I don't think they would have turned into Draco and Ralfy.
Really? Because you were more militant, or what?
I was more militant. I was whooping their butts. I was the dad that you're going to get a whooping if you do something bad. I'm not playing no games. Because I had got them. I got them back. That's where I was getting to that point with that story. So the schools were trying to get in touch with me, but they didn't know where I was. So I don't know, somebody must have told them or whatever, but I ended up getting this call from the elementary school they were going to. And they was like, can you come down here and talk to us or whatever? So I went down there to the school and I talked to the lady, and she kind of like was like, hey, either one of you guys got custody of the kids? I said, no, we never went to court for custody or anything like that. She said, well, I can't be saying no names and then, but hey, I could just tell the mom that you came up here and picked the kids up. So I kind of like read between the lines like what she was doing. I grabbed the kids and I was gone. So I left her with Ivory, and I had Duro and Devontae for 6 months, and I was whooping their butts. And I was getting them in line. They was in line. They wasn't trying to pull none of that on me. So one day, these little smart little rascals, him and Devontae, they was so damn smart, bro. I go up there at lunchtime to go get the kids. I mean, after school to pick the kids up, and the lady at the school, because the school was like right, Harbor City, the little school right across the street next to the store. That's where they were going. So I went over to go pick them up. And the lady said, "Oh, we thought you came and got them at lunchtime. The kids are going." I'm like, wait, lady, what do you mean? Where are my kids at? Like, them little dudes, man, jumped on the train and got the hell on.
And you know what they actually ended up doing at 11?
They I think they got on the book because they had already knew how to write, because the schools were telling me they was catching them downtown, the downtown districts where you go shopping at. And these dudes is in elementary school. So how are they getting away? How do they even know how to ride the bus and all of this stuff to get down there? So they already knew how to do all of that. So they like, okay, you know what? My dad's too strict. We got to get up out of here. We got to get back to our mom. And so they ended up taking the bus. Same thing with the Amber Alert was looking for them and all of that. And come to find out, they found their mom in LA. They knew how to get back there. Those kids were smart, bro.
Right. So do you feel like the whole thing about it is that maybe their mom was a little bit more naive to what the streets could be like for young dudes like that, and you meanwhile grew up very much amongst all of it, and so your attitude is more like, we need to be extremely hardcore when it comes to discipline, and
right? Because she was a soft woman, but it's at the same time she got really angry, and it was bad when she got angry. But I was the dad, like, no, these kids are gonna be ready. Like, no, you guys gonna try to pick some options on what you want to do. Hey, y'all want to play some football? I can get y'all in some Pop Winter. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of dad like that. But Duro and Devontae and Duro, that's their real names. Devontae and Duro, they hung out in my studio all the time. They would be in my studio all the time, and they'd be banging on the drums, driving me crazy while I'm in there trying to make beats. I'm like, man, come on, man, what y'all doing? Hey, Duro on the drums and Ralfy trying to push on the MPC, trying to figure out what stuff they were, how the beats work and everything. So
right. And so were you were you teaching them how to make music, or they were just kind of figuring it out themselves?
I was pretty much teaching them, like, this is what you do. I started every last one of my kids. I tell them, I said, look, you want to play drums? This is what you do. This is what you do. You got to learn this first if you want to play drums. Paradiddle. Paradiddle. Well, what is that, Dad? Okay, it's just right, left, 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 right, left, left. Because, I was trying to teach them the rudiments of being, a good drummer. So I started them off with that. And they kind of really didn't take heed to the drumming. They didn't really, this is not something I want to do. But they would always be on the mic, always playing around with the microphone. So probably right there, that transition kind of, like curved them into, what I'm saying, once they took their street stories and said, we finna rap about this.
Right. Do you remember the first time they actually made a song, and which one of them it would have been who first did a song? Like actually recorded it and everything?
I would say it was Duro. Duro would hide his raps. When he was living with me, when I told you I brought him in there and the teacher gave me the kids, I would be like, what do you keep stuffing up under the bed? Why are you every time I come in here, you stuffing something up under the bed? So he would be hiding his raps up under the bed. Remember that? He used to be hiding his raps up under the bed. I'm like, well, let me see what you got. And he would just be writing these little raps and stuff like that. But I guess he was just ashamed. He didn't know if his raps were good. But he was trying to write songs back then.
Right, definitely. So, when would you say that, like, Draco the Ruler starts to become a thing, when it starts to seem like he's actually taking the music side of things serious?
Well, I say once they fully start overriding the mom's perimeter, I would say that was probably around about 14 and 15, that was it. They started curving into, okay, we in these streets, because they was had a little dance group and stuff. They was doing the jerk. They was jerking. Him and Ralfy was jerking and going to the malls and all that stuff and jerking. And then it went from that into, okay, we finna start telling our stories about what we doing in the streets. So it went like that.
Definitely. How much communication were you having with them at that time?
It was hard because, like I said, it was literally the cat and mouse game. I come over there sometimes and it's a break my heart. Man, I come over there sometimes and I bring the kids toys for Christmas. She throw them all in the street, let the cars run over them.
Really? So she was that adamantly against you being involved in their lives.
I look in the rearview mirror and the cars are smashing all the toys, running them over.
Outside of her influence, like how did you feel like they were basically, you know, kind of going with their mom overall? Like
they
like,
love their mother.
Yeah.
You know, those are boys. Boys cling to the mother most of the time, and girls cling to the dad. And so they love their mother. And, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm, you know, not to throw her under the bus or anything like that. She did the best that she can, but these are boys. They need their dad. When I say, sit down, you're not going nowhere. I said, you're not going. That's going to be it. Mom say, sit down, boy, you ain't going nowhere. He at the donut shop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it go. Dad got that firmness about him. He could just point to the kid and be like, sit down. And the kid is going to be like, you know what? I'm not trying to try my dad.
Right. How were you getting by at this time? Because you were doing music all along, but were you ever like making money?
I was the master entrepreneur, man.
Okay.
I sold Rottweiler puppies. I sold pet bull puppies. I sold the vehicles, you know what I'm saying? You buy it from the auction. Because back then, remember, people used to get the car from the auction.
Right.
I'm going to get this piece of crap from the auction and put a little bit of money into it and flip it. All those games were, you know, back then, us guys from my generation, we really had to know how to do something. Everybody wasn't trapping, and everybody wasn't kicking grandma in the head, snatching her purse. We had to know how to do something, man. Like, we really had to know how to do something.
Right. Were you like cautious enough to want to only take part in legal schemes, or were you?
I had to do it legal. I was Mr. Legal.
Really? You just always kind of had that insight that you didn't want to go to jail?
No, it's just not that. It's just the way I was raised. My mom was the evangelist. My mom was the director of the church choir. And she dragged me to the rehearsals. That's how I got into drums and music. Because I would be there and sometime that drummer didn't show up. At this time, I'm 5. So I would just be like, oh, I'm trying to mess around with these drums or whatever. And so that's how I got into music. So my mom was really, really a spiritual lady. And she was the one who realistically all of us got it from, because she, like I said, she was the director of the church choir, my mom. She wrote plays for the church. She did all of that. So, yeah.
So it actually got through to you. You're like the one kid who, like, their parents told them do the right thing, and you
yeah.
Okay.
And you know, to reap what you sowed. She was my mom karma, bro. Yeah, the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not. You know, my mom was not playing. You what? And if you act like you wasn't paying attention and listening, she was gonna pick you and choose you to want you. Okay. You going to all the tent revivals with me. You're going to be the kid that I dragged to every church thing. Yeah. That's how my mom was.
For sure. So you never...
And she picked on me. That's like my mom. I don't know what it was. My mom used to always be like, you're the one that's coming with me all the time. Like, why me? You know?
For sure. So you never robbed a house back in the day. They cooked that up themselves?
Yeah, I never did anything. I never did stuff like that.
Okay.
They definitely wouldn't have been doing that shit living with me.
For sure. Were you getting fucked up during this time period of your life too? Like,
no, my first drink was at 35. I had my first beer at 35 years old.
Why'd you wait that long?
It just wasn't something that I would say I would be into. But then once I started drinking, because it was like I was 35 years old, it's like, oh, this is what I've been missing. So I kind of went far. Then I turned into a habitual clubber.
Really?
Yeah, because you know how they say, like, oh, the Catholic school girls, them is the ones you want to get to because they the worst. Once I started, it was like, it was bad.
Really?
Yeah.
So you just spent years where in like Hollywood and shit, or more like local shit?
I was going to the Bistro 880 in Carson. I was going to the Lakewood Hop, the Player's Choice. All these people know me from them spots, man. The Carolina West. Oh, man, those was the days.
Right, definitely. So how much like warning or did you caution Draco and Ralfy about the gang thing? Because I feel like obviously one of the most unique things about their story is that they're like some of the only rappers in the history of LA to not be formally from a hood.
Probably because they didn't see their dad like pushing that envelope on them, and the things that I did do, or I'm guilty of, or whatever, however you want to put it. I didn't put that in their face and glorify that.
Mm.
I'm not trying to glorify nothing like that to no kid. I'm gonna glorify you. Gonna reap what you sow. Just like them did that to him. I don't care about how tough you think you are. I don't care about what hood you from, and you could be the biggest, baddest bully on the planet. Karma gonna be like a Hellcat and run you down and get right on the side of you, and lights out. I didn't seen the toughest brothers go to prison and come out and be the homosexuals.
Really?
I didn't seen the weakest ones that look like, oh, he ain't gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. Come out and run the hood, run the set. Yeah, and it's not just a particular community. Different communities, I've seen this.
So do you have the memory of when they first asked you about being a gang member or being affiliated with anything like that? Like, and did you just tell them like, yeah, I might have made this decision, but I don't think you should?
Let's see, how can I?
Because it's a tough conversation to have with a young dude out here.
Yeah, like, and the thing, okay, so you got to understand. My auntie owned the property, the duplex. It was a set of 5 duplexes over there. She owned those. It's on 107th. Okay, Washington. I'm mind you, I'm on 107th, right? Here's Washington High School, right? So that's Normandy, and then right here is Buttline. If you know anything about LA, you already know what the deal is. I got shot at 8 times over there. The movies, y'all, the movies Colors and them movies like that, that stuff has actually happened to me. I never forget the time I walked to the liquor. I tried to sneak. Actually, I hit the alley, tried to sneak to the store because we had to sneak to the store because all the dudes on that side of Normandy, they had a apartment complex and they could see anybody who come off that street. I guess they see me sneaking to the store. And it was like the movie Colors. They jumped in about 4 whips. And they was actually guns out of the car. Pop, pop, but just I could see when I'm running, I could see the bullets sparking on the gates and all of that. The only reason why I'm alive to this day, because I jumped the fence. The biggest pet bull I've ever seen in my life on a chain, chained up to the tree. I'm like, okay, my luck is just terrible. I jumped back there. So dude, that guy, the owner of the house, I guess he came out. What are you doing in my backyard? He had a shotgun on me.
Oh shit!
I'm like, man, what are you doing? I say, hey man, they're shooting at me, man. I just trying to, get away. And shoot, man. Next thing you know, man, he let me run through it, come in his house, run through, get back on the other side. And that's why I'm alive right now.
Wow.
Me and him became good friends. El Salvadorian dude. He was real cool.
And that was you just getting shot at for being from the wrong place in the wrong area?
That was for me. I was coming from my house off 107th Street to the liquor store. They had a little liquor store. We called it the Death Store because everybody gets smoked at that store.
Well, that's a charming nickname. Yeah. I heard some tough nicknames. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Anybody got caught slipping going down Normandy right there and at that liquor store, they're gonna pop you.
Wow.
And anybody them listening to this, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, they know.
Wait, but so they knew where you were from, or they're just looking at you like a random person that could just get it?
Well, if they see you coming off of this side of Normandy,
gotcha.
You was from that community,
right?
If they see you coming from that side of Normandy, then you was from that community,
right?
And it was a consistent war.
Right, because I mean it's pretty interesting because I'm sure you know Ralfy and Draco are like super rebellious when it comes to like basically everything that you were trying to put in their head as kids. I'm sure you were telling them to stay away from drugs and getting up and everything like that. That was out the window at some point. But it's interesting how the gang thing actually took it serious. And I mean, it is even beyond that. It's like we're used to crews, but the crews are always part of gangs. They're always like under the umbrella of a certain hood.
Absolutely.
To have a totally non-affiliated crew is like such a unique thing that almost nobody in like LA history in terms of street shit has ever really had the gall to do.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So Duro and Devontae is kind of like, man, they wanted money. It transitioned from that candy selling. That's where it transitioned from that. Hey man, we was flipping money. We was little, and then we start flipping this, and then okay, next thing you're gonna be flipping is probably some product, or you're gonna be flipping some stuff that you didn't clip from somebody, or you know what I'm saying. That idea of doubling and tripling money is getting, like you said, to a different level. And at this time, shit. 19, 20 years old, they Draco the Ruler and Ralfy the Plug at that point.
Right. And so, yeah, did they start to really get traction as rappers before they started getting in trouble with the law? Because I'm assuming that that's like the next time where you really feel like I got to intervene is the first time you hear about one of them getting arrested.
The whole time I just couldn't catch up with him. And see, the thing is over there in that area, the sheriffs had a very, very good strategy. Like when it comes to brothers, and they did this with, if it was a household of brothers and all those brothers were gang members in whatever community or house it was, the sheriffs had a really good strategy. They would always make sure that the brothers were never on the street at the same time. So what they would do is they would always make sure that it's only one of them out and the other one's in, or they rotate the brothers. And, we ain't leaving both of them out on the street. That's all. They
feel like two brothers together on the streets at the same time would just be way more deadly, way more likely to do some up shit. Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Strategy. That's double. That's two people with the strategy. So we're gonna make sure one of y'all locked up at all times.
That's just interesting that, like, to the police, that brotherly bond is that much more powerful than, like, the gang member guy that lives across the street from me that we hang out every day. But it's that much more significant. That's interesting. Okay, so yeah, but do you remember the first time that they got locked up, and what that conversation might have been like?
Well, I was hearing that, like I said, I was hearing from, I can't give up her name or none of that, but this school teacher, she was helping me out a lot. And she was telling me everything. She made sure she followed their story. That's probably Darlene don't know this, but that's how I was finding out everything. She was telling me, that okay, he's in juvenile hall or whatever, and all of that stuff. This one's in juvenile hall, so I'll go down there and hey, transform him to another place. You know what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, he's out, and then Devontae's in juvenile hall. I'm like, shit, it was a rotating, spinning tornado, bro. It was a tornado, and at this time, I'm way in Riverside, and so I'm way in Riverside. They way in LA, so it was just like, okay, I used to have to come, we'll bring him in later, but I had to come and I used to use my other son, Lorenzo, and I was like, Lorenzo, have you seen him anywhere in LA? He's like, nah, Dad, but we working on it. We trying to find out where they are. So Renzo was like my little detective spy dude to find out where they lived at or whatever. And sometimes he would come up with the information. We'd stake out where the possible place was. We sit, and I'd be like, oh, there they go right there. There they go right there. Let them get away from the house. So I could try to grab them, get them back, so I could start back my discipline with them, man.
But it just kept getting harder and harder as they got older.
Hard to get the cat and mouse game it got too. It just, and then like I said, Duro, at this time they're turning into Draco the Ruler and Ralfy the Plug. So they's like, okay, man, we ain't worried about our dad, bro. We finna be somewhere we don't even know where we at.
Interesting. So when he really starts making his debut, like obviously we hear about Draco before Ralfy, music wise, when he signs to Mustard, or not signs to Mustard, but starts working with Mustard and does that album together and everything. Like by that point, what's your vantage point on his career, and how much communication are you actually?
I was having communication with him because Duro would come out to my house. He's like, Dad, you got any beats? You got any beats? I'm like, man, come on, man. I got beats, man. I got a gang of beats. So when I gave him that one he did with the Big Bang Buddha song, when I gave him that, I gave him a stack of beats. It was 30 CDs with like 10 beats on each CD. Because we would put our beats on the CDs back then. And so I never thought he was going to use any of them or whatever. But when I heard the song, I'm like, wait a minute, he actually used that beat I gave him. Like,
So that's interesting because there's like so many people that he could have got beats from, and that he actually went out of his way to get one from you. But at that point, like you would think that if he was going to do that most rappers, the reason why they would do something like that, or at least the way that they would kind of use it, is that they would talk about it and say, yeah, this one was produced by my dad.
Yeah, he never did that.
That's interesting that he would do it, but then not talk about it. Like,
I think a young lady went to the jail or the prison to visit him, and he ended up spilling the beans like, no, my dad gave me that beat. But he never did tell me. I'm not going to try to sit here in front. But he never told me like, like my dad gave me this beat telling people that no. Yeah. I see DJ Mustard put his little spin on it, but that's what any good producer would do, 'cause that's what I do. I mean, if I get a beat and I can enhance it, DJ Mustard just ran over top of it with a bass line and some little stuff, but yeah.
But you weren't gonna go try to chase down royalties off this?
Man,
no,
I'm good. I gave the kid the beats, man. He says, "My son, here, man, take the beats, man. Do what you gotta do with them."
Right. So from your perspective though, like what was that like seeing him, him and Mustard working together, putting out a tape is crazy.
I was really happy when I heard the beat. But I mean, I didn't know what their relationship was. I don't know too much about the Mustard guy. I listened to some of his stuff. He does some really good work, what I'm saying? His beats are some West Coast type of really good stuff. But Daryl could have got that stuff for me.
Right. I mean, Draco, like for people who don't remember how this went, he basically does this whole project with Mustard. Mustard tries to sign him. Draco basically rejects it,
and that's where it started.
Puts out another tape like a year later, 6 months later, or whatever it was. Makes it clear, like, no, I'm doing this on my own now. Which, when you look at it, it's like the least surprising thing ever for Draco, because it's pretty impossible to imagine him really being like under somebody, like having a Birdman who's telling him what to do. Like, I just feel like beyond, like, most rappers really are going to have a hard time with that. But with him, it's like, I just can't imagine him answering to someone.
That's what I was saying. That started that mentality of, no, man, I'm doing it this way. I'm doing it my way. Hey, everybody can get mad. He was always like that since 5. No, he wasn't finna, especially he making that money. They getting that money out the streets. Him and Ralfy getting that money out the streets like it's nothing. So what they trying to offer him, he get that out the streets.
Right. And I mean,
Stinc Team out. Okay.
Yeah. Like him being part of whatever Mustard has going on, obviously is good promotion and stuff, but you're giving up a bunch of short-term profitability or for an advance, and then basically the promotion, which in a long run sense, it could be good, but also like, it's probably pretty wise of him to realize that he didn't have to do that.
Right. True that. But he was always that type of person that he didn't want to be under nobody.
Right.
He never wanted to be under. He wanted to be his own leader, his own group. He only want to have his own thing going. So they wouldn't have never been able to. The kid I know, my son, he wouldn't have never signed with none of them. So they was just wasting their time with that.
And you said that's where it all started. So from your perspective, that's where a bunch of his tension ends up kind of starting up the tension with a bunch of different Bloods and whatnot from LA.
That's where it started, because they couldn't, I would say, trick him into signing on some deal or whatever. So he was like, you know what I'm saying, man, I'm not doing it like this. And then they like, oh, okay, well, you think you bigger than the program? We finna show you ain't bigger than the program. You gonna sign with somebody? You gonna sign with one of them? You're like, no, I'm not. We could just go to war.
You think he said that to them?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in his mind, he's like, we could just go to war.
Wow.
I'm not signing with nobody. He's like, whatever. You could try me if you want to. It could just be the Wild Wild West out here. That's the type of attitude Daryl had. He wasn't afraid of anyone. He wasn't scared of anybody. I mean, come on, what was he thinking? You think you finna go to this once upon a time thing, and you got all of these enemies. You got all of these enemies, and you're just like bulletproof. You gonna go down there with none? Because he was like, man, hey, this is a part of this lifestyle. I'm not finna show no fear. I'm not scared. I'm going down here to do the show. Because I would have told him, bro, don't go down there.
Right.
Just wait for the next one.
Right. Because I mean, we're kind of jumping ahead here, but I mean, when I heard the Inglewood diss, I remember thinking like, oh, this really doesn't seem like it's going to end well. No. But then for months after that, I'm seeing the way he's moving around. I'm seeing him when he's on Melrose, he's got security, when he's with, he's with certain people and stuff. And I'm like, okay, he seems like he's taking his security serious and moving around in the right way and everything. And then when you look at that situation, it's like, oh, okay, you let your guard down one time and you could end up in this situation that you over.
Well, like I said, I'm not finna sit up here and try to make it seem like my kid was some angel or whatever, because I mean, you pouring gas on the fire with that Inglewood song. That, come on now, I mean, as a dad, me being a dad, he shouldn't have never made that song.
Yeah.
He should have never made that song. You know, I'm just the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the culture as a whole really promotes people who won't duck their shit or will always run towards any fight. But when you look at that situation,
and he was that guy.
Yeah, you just wish that he had a little bit more humility, a little bit more of a willingness to just take an L and say, okay, you know what, I'm not gonna diss you guys anymore. I'm just gonna leave this alone, and hopefully, as time goes by, maybe this could become less of a constant tension.
Unfortunately, sometimes that grows with age.
Yeah.
And then the older you get, you don't have the energy for the drama. And so the older you get, the lesser amount of drama you want in your life. So then you start making different decisions like, nah, man, I'm cool. I'm gonna hold out on this one. But he's young. This is a young, strong, energetic. No, I'm doing it my way. What? Okay, then y'all tripping, we tripping too. Okay, well then whatever. Catch me when you can. I'm gonna catch you when I can. He was young.
Yeah. So, okay, there's that situation with Mustard and him basically pissing off a whole variety of different people in the music industry and stuff. But then can you draw a connection between that and what ends up happening at the pajama party when Kells ends up killing Red Bull? Or are these like separate situations that kind of
all that was kind of tied in together? Because those at the end of the day, all those communities are connected.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, you got even the Compton communities, you got the Inglewood communities, you got all these different communities. At the end of the day, all those communities are connected. So if one of theirs fall off behind a situation, then they're going to team up.
Definitely. So when he ends up getting arrested for that situation and you hear about all that stuff, how does that sit with you? Or is that a moment where you're like, so many of the things that I had really hoped he could have avoided are basically kind of coming true at this point?
I was thinking that too. And then I was just thinking, you know, just like, damn, man, man, what, you know how as a father, you just feel like, yeah, I'm in a situation. Damn, I couldn't be, you know how you feel like a dad? I couldn't be there, man. Like, it's like, man, come on. Yes.
Definitely. Did you talk to him about the beef and stuff? Did you try to kind of urge him to like, maybe we should try to lessen this tension? Or
well, I couldn't get to him at the time because at this time I guess he was in the county jail or whatever. And yeah, it was just kind of hard for me to talk to him. And you know, when he, like I said, when Daryl came over, he was so happy and talking about happy stuff and good stuff. He would just be talking about music, or maybe he's just trying to think he keeping it away from me. Like, bro, come on now. I'm one of the biggest OGs in LA, bro. I know everything that you're doing.
I mean, yeah, there was like because I saw him a bunch around that time, and never was there any kind of indication that he was involved in this whole street thing. You know, he always was just like super just overjoyed to be free, to be hanging out, getting up, having a good time with everybody. Like it was just as much as now when you go and you watch these little documentaries about that time in his life and everything, and you see all this stuff, it's like that wasn't necessarily the vibe for so many of us that knew him. It's like that wasn't the thing that we were always thinking about or whatever. That was some shit that we knew he had going on, but really, like, you know, we're not super street oriented, so we're not necessarily thinking about that. I remember like we made a conscious decision at No Jumper to just like not document any of the back and forth with that shit because it just felt way too close to home.
So you would say he was this cool, smiling, cool guy. That's the same vision of him I have. He was always this cool, you know, guy, man, that was just happy and he was down to help, you know, his friends. And, you know, if he making money, y'all gonna have some money. If Duro has some money, they gonna have some money. If I come up, y'all gonna come up. That was him. But I'm going to be the leader.
Yeah, totally. I mean, during that time period, you were having a hard time getting in touch with him. When do you think the last time you actually spoke to him or saw him
when
was?
I gave him the beats.
Oh, okay.
That was the very last time that me and him was face to face when I gave him the beats. Ralfy would come out there a lot. You know what I'm saying? But Duro, like I said, they rotated him. Ralfy would come out there when Duro was locked up.
Yeah, because people forget that there was this whole time period where it felt like he was just going to be sitting in jail forever. Like it felt like they were just not ever going to come to any level of clarity because the murders that had taken place, basically they had already found people to charge with those. And instead they're trying to treat Draco like he was the ringleader of all this stuff. And you're just kind of wondering, like, because they took him to trial and it was a hung jury, right? And then they basically were going to try him again. It didn't end up happening. They ended up releasing him. But there were years and years there where he was at his prime, really, where we didn't really get to see anything from him. And like, what was it like for you as a dad at that point? Like, did you kind of feel just this pure frustration? And Ralfy was locked up at the same time too. So you're just thinking.
Then at that time they had them both.
Yeah. And Ralfy was for some, like, he was doing credit card stuff, I believe, at the time and everything like that. From your perspective at that time, like, are you, I don't know, are you just, are you trying to stay in touch with them, or like, I don't know, how's that?
No, I just man, at that particular time, I'm just keep it 100, man. I just felt like, man, this is something that I knew would end up being, this is the wall that I knew they would crash into. And I don't want to see my sons like that, man. Knowing that I just playing this cat mouse game, man, it's tearing me up. It's tearing me up, man. So I don't want to see him stuck like that.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay, the music festival happens. He ends up getting killed. How do you find out about it? And what is that like for you as a dad?
I had a friend that they do security.
Right, and they tipped you off?
Yeah. And it was like, I gotta talk to you. Like that.
Right. And this, I mean, it's one of the hardest things you've ever had to go through. And does this just completely change you as a person? Because one thing I was super surprised to hear was that you didn't have the face tattoos until this happened.
I didn't have none of the face tattoos because I used to have my tattoo artist over there in Redland, cool guy. He would talk to me. He was a really cool guy. And every time he's like, Daryl, man, you ain't coming in here to get no tattoos. You can't even see the tattoos, man. You putting them on top of each other. Because I would just really go to use him as the therapist, you know what I'm saying? And talk to him, and he would help me out with a lot of situations, like how I, curve that thinking and not put too much energy on that, so I wouldn't make the wrong decisions on that situation. Because I was very angry, and I know a lot of people.
Right. So, like, what do the tattoos mean to you? Any in particular that really were dedicated to him, or I can't actually 100% read them.
Yeah, I got him.
I do see
I got him a couple
truth.
times. I got him, and a couple times I got Draco right here on my eyebrow. Draco the ruler, rest in peace. And I got a whole big body picture of him on my stomach, with the city of LA.
Oh wow.
And Draco on my stomach. I have that one. And I have and all these Stinc Team. Like, you trying to be, bro? Come on, I'm too old to be a part of the Stinc Team, bro. Come on, man. But I'm gonna try to live out what my son was doing. So what he was doing, that's what I'm gonna be a part of. So I got to do a little Buddha and the Stinc Team stuff put on me,
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be the hardest thing to go through as a parent, to see their son be taken out this world prematurely like that. Like, what kind of place did it put you in mentally? Like, was it just?
I was stressed out for 2 years. The whole 2 years, I was. Yeah, I probably needed to be honest, I probably needed to go get some counseling. I'm gonna keep it real, bro. I was mentally messed up. I was really mentally messed up. Like, probably need to see somebody and talk to somebody, because I was losing it. I mean, I'm getting tattoos. I was getting tattoos every week. And the guy just refused. The only reason why I stopped, because he refused to get me any more tattoos. Like, bro, I'm not doing it.
Really?
Yeah. Hummer over there.
Was it like, because when it comes to tattoos, especially as you get older, one thing I find is that, like, when you're 18, there's like all kinds of shit that you are excited to get tattooed on you. And then as you get older, at least for me, there's just less and less things that I feel so strongly about that I want it on my body for the rest of my life, which is why I barely have gotten tattooed in like the last 10 years. But then you go through that kind of experience and you go through something that is so powerful that, like, you almost didn't even know that you could go through anything that would be this
No, I didn't.
devastating or world changing. And it's just interesting to me that you were this late in life and still that was the thing that you were like, okay, you know what? This is the one thing that's deserving of the real estate on my face.
Yeah, man, this real estate on my face represent the pain and suffering of what I was going through from them, doing what they did to my son.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fuck. So you went to the funeral, but didn't really care for it. The vibe was not exactly what you would have hoped.
Running around here, burning rubber and all out the roof of cars and acting crazy. Bro, this is not a party. Somebody died and lost their life. And y'all acting like this is some celebration, you know, like you at a party. I didn't like that at all. But I mean, what can I do? It's what they were doing.
Yeah, because I just went to the funeral. I didn't go to the graveside or the funeral procession that happened afterwards. So I feel like I missed some of that. The funeral itself was kind of a normal funeral, I would say, but then I feel like there was more of like a celebratory, not celebratory, but like, you know, I feel like a lot of these street dudes mourn differently than a lot of other people that I know, just because they've been around so much of it.
Probably gets nothing to them. It's immune. They're immune to.
Just since they were young, to the point where they process it by just kind of, I don't know, having a like turning up like the way that they might on any given Friday night type shit. But I can understand how it didn't sit right with you when you're the one who's like, this was your baby. Yeah,
and he, you know, he's a duplicate of me. His birthday is the same. We the same. Birthday is the same. Like Ralfy's 2 kids is same birthday as him. Same as with Duro. Duro's my birthday.
Definitely. Was there any chance that this would like bring you closer to Ralfy and the mother, or was it not possible?
You gotta remember, Ralfy was suffering. Ralfy was in pain at the same time too.
Right.
Ralfy was in pain. She was in pain. So you got all of these people in pain. You know, it's hard to like. Nobody wants to talk. Everybody's upset. Everybody's hurt. So it's like it's awkward. I just put it like that. It's awkward to kind of like, you know. Yeah. It's just, and then you know, years have passed by. It's been like. It's at this time at 20 years, from 5 years old to 28. So 5 years old. That's no, we said seven. That's 21 years. Yeah.
Definitely. As far as like how the world reacted to it, like I don't know what kind of guy you are. Like, are you sitting there watching YouTube videos of people talking about it, or like how in tune with the reaction was it? Because I feel like a lot of people maybe didn't know how big he was or how big his impact was until it happened, and then that moment like brought in a lot more people who were, you know, couldn't believe his impact.
Yeah, Draco had a lot of people who loved him. He had a lot of people who appreciated that energy we're talking about. That cool guy. You come around him, he make you feel cool, like he was the guy that you know you don't know him, you just met him, but he make you feel like, nah, man, you one of the guys. That's how he was. So a lot of people. They all over the, you know, everywhere. They liked it him, man.
Definitely. So I seen you had a lot to say too about the fact that a lot of people are upset about other people running off with his style, using his flow, etc. But your take on it is more that this is, you know, it's a good thing. This is like just a sign of how influential he was, and that you can't really.
That's the way I see it as my age. Yeah, it's like. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody learns from somebody. You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand, Draco was a movement. When he came in, he changed the whole game, the whole style of the West Coast and everything else. So, I mean, now that the game has changed and this is what the trend is to sound like this, of course other rappers and people are going to sound like that, because that's what's in. It's kind of like when bell bottoms went out and skinny pants came in, you know, and you could get the dudes still wearing bell bottoms. Everybody's wearing the skinny pants like everybody else. So that's the way I look at it. You know, a lot of these people, I mean, it's just like with Snoop and Warren G. Warren G was doing that style first. Everybody learned from somebody, man.
Yeah, I mean, like in the rap game, I'm so used to seeing 30-year-old men stealing shit from teenagers. Like, this is just par for the course. That it's just dudes are so thirsty to find anything that'll give them a moment, help them make a hit song, etc., that they'll steal anything. They'll steal stuff that is way less obvious, way less like useful than Draco's flow. So to me, yeah, I mean, it's you know, you see this happening kind of constantly. I guess, like, you know, it's nice when you see somebody like Tyler, the Creator, that actually shouts Draco out in a lyric to kind of just let everybody know, like, oh, even the biggest artists from the West Coast are aware of his contribution. But when you see Kendrick not doing it, does that hit you a little bit different? Because on one hand, it would be nice. On the other hand, it's probably at least a little bit political.
It did. I mean, because when I actually was listening, because I mean, I'm not a big Kendrick Lamar person listening to his music. Yeah, I'm really picky with music. You know, just being that I'm a musician and all that. But I heard this one song of his. I'm like, wait, I didn't know if I was listening to a Draco song that I just didn't hear yet. I'm like, oh, this is one of my son's songs that I haven't heard yet. And then that's not Draco. That's Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, wait, that's Kendrick Lamar? He sounds just like. And then that's when I knew right there, oh, this guy. He sounds the rhyme pattern, the syncopation, all of that was the same. The flow, everything was the same. Now, far as him giving him the props, maybe it was a politic thing. Maybe it was politics, you know what I'm saying? I can't be trying to go on that bandwagon right now with what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make this positive movement, you know, right now with, you know, these rappers and this rap stuff. And if I, you know, shout out Draco, you know, and just let people know I'm using this flow, that might be bad for what I'm trying to do. So I can understand it on that level. But at some point, you got to keep it real.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably be wondering forever what would happen if somebody asked Kendrick in an interview.
Yeah, that's,
you know,
we gotta wait for that one.
You know, if he was a normal rapper, just did interviews, then at some point somebody would ask him that. I feel like we're probably never going to get a straight answer, but it would be, that would be such a crazy moment if somebody asked him, because if he was just like, oh yeah, Draco, I've heard him, he's cool, I would be like, oh my God, that was a diss right there.
No, that would be
like, oh, that would be a crazy level of shade.
Yeah, that would be a straight dish right there. Yeah. Come on now you playing possum and dumb.
Yeah, that would be wild if anybody ever actually was able to get that done. But yeah, I don't think I ever seen any blood ever show him love, really.
Adam, you could pull it off, right?
You know, if I could, I would. But I feel like the only people who are going to get a Kendrick interview are going to be like a Zane Lowe or a Ebro or somebody who's not going to ask that shit.
Kendrick Lamar, from what I see and I peep, he seems like a really down to earth person.
Definitely.
He seems like a really down to earth person. So I think if you get at him, he might, you know, he seems to be a down to earth person. That's where the way he presents himself. I just think he don't probably want all the drama and that comes with saying, okay, yeah, man, I use Draco style. And
I don't think he would ever say that, but I think that there's so many different ways where if he said Big Bang Buddha in a song, there could be 80 other words in that like 20 seconds of rapping, and every single Stinc Team fan would be like, boom, he just did it. He just acknowledged it. You know, it's like he doesn't have to say something that is more of an overt endorsement.
But Adam, it's the rhyme patterns.
Yeah.
It's the syncopation. The whole rhyme. Duro had his own rhyme patterns and own syncopation. That's, if you listen to that song, that's him.
Yeah. I mean, I think Kendrick loves shaping public conversation, and I think that he enjoys leaving you to wonder about a lot of stuff. But really, at the end of the day, he put out that album with 8 features from underground LA artists. Right. A lot of those artists are like, you know, 1% as influential or important as Draco, and Kendrick knows about all of them. So the idea that he wouldn't know about Draco or wouldn't like have heard a bunch of his music is absurd.
Wait, he said that?
No, he didn't say it. I'm just saying that the idea that he wouldn't know about Draco or would just kind of be in the dark is hilarious. Like, that's a joke. Yeah, there's no possibility.
Yeah, there's no possibility of that.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess you know, one of the things that was going through my mind when I was at the funeral and stuff, like I'm just sitting there kind of overwhelmed by the sheer cruelty that ended us up in this situation of just how up it is that young people are just out here killing each other over these beefs and everything. And then my mind kind of goes to earlier things that
it's got to stop.
Yeah. But this was in some ways a development based on other things that had happened back and forth, and then nobody really involved in this is an angel.
Right.
And I mean, I guess that has got to be something that kind of crossed your head while you were mourning. A
lot of people, I mean to cut you, but a lot of people gonna come with, man, he chose that life, and but that doesn't, just because he chose that life and he knows what he put himself into, that does not give you the right to kill or take somebody else's life. You know, that still doesn't give you the right, because all it's gonna do is keep going. It's gonna keep going, and the karma's gonna keep coming. The universe is gonna have to keep on going and pulling up on y'all that gotta reap what you sow, and it's never gonna end. All the tough guys I know, they're in wheelchairs, prison, are just burnt out from them reaping. A lot of them end up on drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, yeah. It's just such a horrible, repetitive cycle that it's crazy talking to somebody who's been in the game as long as you, who had to watch this sort of inevitable cycle just play out with your son right in front of you, and just
right in front, like a movie.
Ugh.
Like a movie, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So after the fact, there's a lot of conversations about the extent to which this could be a setup, that Live Nation or other parties were responsible. How involved with that are you in terms of the lawsuit, or in terms of just your own personal theories about how this might have played out?
Well, I feel like Live Nation did not stab him. Okay. Live Nation did not pull the bully move and jump him 50 against 1, 50 against 7. So Live Nation would, to me, would only be responsible of the fact that they didn't have proper security. But they're not the ones who did what was done to him. But if they would have had their setup set right, then it most likely 80%, 90% wouldn't have happened. So with that being said, something's a little shady there.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Weiss did a whole write-up about that night, and I think he was kind of like embedded with the crew when they were pulling up and everything, and he actually said that there was like sort of gang, calls that he could kind of hear like while they were entering, that there were sort of like gang things that people say. I'm trying not to be specific. I don't know why, because it's in the article, but it's like that he was kind of almost, I think he said that like security was doing it too. So there's like definitely a significant chance that like the security company itself was probably, I mean, and we all know security guards in LA are just almost always somebody from a hood.
Yeah. Because those are the dudes that come out with all the buffness and all that. Yo, we can be security.
Right. Sometimes the security guard will like really try to act like they're not from somewhere, and then you'll kind of figure it out a few months later or whatever.
Man, I think that shit, man. I'm security. I'm being the security that night. Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he coming over here tonight, man. I got you. That type of shit.
You'll be looking at their tattoos and they'll be like, "No, I'll just with baseball.
Yeah,
that's my team," or whatever. Yeah, I've had that one a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll figure it out. But like, okay, in that last interview, somebody hit me up and said that you were being like intentionally cryptic and almost suggesting that you feel like there will be arrests.
Oh yeah, because I'm a dad. I could feel it in my spirit. It's finna happen really soon.
Really?
Like it's gonna.
But you haven't had conversations with people about specific details that might suggest that?
I mean, by me being a very, very popular person who I am in the streets and stuff like that,
I'm sure people would love to tell you some shit.
They come up to me and they have these conversations. Like I say, I'm you know what I'm saying, I ain't come here to drop no names, but I'm just a triple OG spitting some game. But I'm gonna tell you though, I know, yeah,
because I mean, really, it just takes one person facing a super serious charge where them snitching on that situation might get them some leniency. And when you talk about this, I mean, it seems like it could be, dozens of people involved in a conspiracy. So it's pretty easy to imagine somebody deciding to talk about it at some point.
A lot of them up there knew what was going down. Everybody ain't just in the dressing room. Everybody ain't just in the back.
Definitely. So why did you decide to come out and do interviews after 4 or so years of silence?
Like I said, I feel in my spirit, this is the time and something's finna happen.
Really?
Yeah, I think the universe is finna crash in.
And you just felt like you wanted to get ahead of it and sort of speak your piece?
I just felt like this is the time for me to, like I said, I wasn't trying to, as soon as it happened, be out there trying to clout chase or all this stuff. I just felt like, this is the time for me to let them know. And my very firm, hard speech is, whoever you are and whatever group you are, you're gonna reap what you sow. Every last one of you.
Mm.
And I'm pretty sure all of these ones that was the bullies and the tough guys, they got sons, they got kids. And it's gonna be that kid they love the most, the one that reminded them, just like me, that same pain. That kid that remind them so much of them. This one reminds me of me a lot. And karma's gonna come right in.
Is there a part of you that feels sadness picturing people being taken away from their family, even if they took your kid away from you?
Yes, I mean, I wouldn't want that to happen to nobody. I don't even want the karma to come back on them. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works.
Mm. For sure. So throughout all this, like, I mean, the relationship with you and Ralfy just seems like it's totally just stalled out. Like
it's kind of stalled. I think, you know, I go to a lot of his stuff, and sometimes I just kind of like try to feel his vibe to see, you know, how he's feeling and how he's thinking. You know, I mean, I love my son a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? It's an unfortunate situation what happened through this trial of, you know, dad and the son and the family and all of that stuff out there. But it's just, I don't know what he be thinking. I don't know what he be thinking.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like at a certain point, a lot of dudes, like, even if you've got a grudge against your pops, you start to be able to realize what they were going through and what their lives were like. And
right.
You start to develop some sense of like understanding about that even if your dad wasn't perfect, that you're able to look at them and say, you know what, I'm not perfect either. So I can kind of relate to this. Like, I mean, do you feel like there's a chance that he might kind of switch over to that at some point?
Well,
because when I asked him for your number, I'm watching the interview and I text him and say, yo, you got to give me your dad's number. I got to interview him. And then as I'm watching it more, I'm like getting the realization of like, oh, they're not necessarily on good terms right now. And he hadn't texted me back yet.
Why are we not on good terms? Let's ask the
right.
Why are we not on good terms? What would be the reason for him not to be on good terms with me?
The only stuff that I've seen, like if it goes deeper than the idea that you just weren't around during their childhood, then I don't know about anything deeper than that.
That's not the truth. That was not a situation that somebody could pinpoint and say, you were a dad that avoided trying to be around them. And that's not the truth at all. Because that's their slogan, right? Ain't that their slogan? We know the truth, but didn't tell the truth.
The truth can be controversial. It can be hard to arrive at the truth.
His opinion of the truth could be, I mean, what he thinks of the truth, it could be totally different from me. Because you got to remember, he was 7. He was 7 when all of this happened. So I don't know how good kids' memories are, because I can't remember nothing when I was 7. Can any of y'all remember anything when y'all was 7?
Like glimpses, you know. Like
can you remember, Jesse, anything when you're 7? You can? I can't.
I mean, when you're 7, I feel like you remember some random time you were in the shoe store with your mom, and you know, just these little glimpses that are still left over, you know? But then you also have like an overall understanding of your childhood that, you know, whether it was happy or sad or, you know, it's just little glimpses. Okay, if you could go back to being, you know, 25 or whatever, when they were really young, looking back on it, if you could change anything, or if you could relive those years, what would you have done differently?
What I would have done differently? Grabbed Draco and Ralfy, which is Devontae and Daryl, and I would have punched out. Because look, the school teacher was telling me what to do. I ain't gonna put all her business out there, but she was telling me, she said, you need to just take them and move out of state. And that is what I would be my answer. I would have grabbed him and I would have punched out of state with him.
Do you think it would have worked if you took him to, you know, Henderson, Nevada or some shit?
Yeah, because I mean,
you would have been able to keep him out of trouble, at least at least it would have slowed the progress down. Yeah,
because I mean, they're going to turn 18 at some point.
Yeah.
But I would have been trying to push another lyric. Somebody asked me that before. I said, do you think they would have been Draco the Ruler and Ralfy the Plug if they was living with you? I was like, no, I don't think that. I think the streets turned them. I think the streets turned them into Draco the Ruler and Ralfy the Plug.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that you are probably responsible for turning them into rappers regardless, because you just introduced them to music from such a young age.
Yeah.
And I really feel like, you know, a lot of the times when I see people who are successful with music, it just happens to be the person who started getting their reps in when they were really young. Like they learned an instrument super young, or they were 12 recording in their room. And then by the time they're 22, they got like 10 years of experience and they just figured out how to make music good and stuff. But you also didn't necessarily know that we were going to enter into this future in which music was kind of used as like a conduit for so many of the tensions in the streets. And then that ended up kind of becoming, you know, ultimately a big part of everything that happened.
Because I remember Daryl used to tell me, he'd be listening to music. He used to come to my house, he'd be listening to music. He said, Dad, you're not listening to the song. And I would laugh like he's really paying attention to him. And at that particular time, I think he liked it to listen to Drake's music. Yeah, he was listening to Drake's music all the time. He's like, nah, Dad, you got to listen to what he's saying. And I would laugh like it was fun. Like, he didn't listen to, he's like, nah, Dad, you got to listen to what he said. Like, you know, listen to this part. Listen to this bar right here.
Right.
And he's talking about Drake. And that's crazy because they end up doing a song later when he got it.
Yeah, Drake ended up being one of the like key people that really reached out to him in a situation that like, you know, just he really didn't have to. He just straight up just appreciates good music and just reached out. It's crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then I remember like seeing them at a club together, and that tripped me out because like the Draco that I met in 2016, I just really did not picture him being in a nightclub or like being on some friendly shit, just like hanging out with everybody. And then I'm seeing him just wearing a nice outfit in the club, and I'm like, holy, this is like a different, like I was proud to have seen him get to that point in life where he was, you know, opening up and being willing to do more stuff, and to even have Drake just embracing him. I don't know. Crazy.
And that was a person that he definitely looked up to and listened to his music, because he used to be listening to his Drake music a lot.
It's crazy that his name ended up being one letter away from us. Yeah. Still to this day, I have people coming in and calling him Drakeo on the mic. That just seems like it'll never go away. Yeah. Okay. So how many other kids do you have aside from them two?
I have 10 sons and 2 daughters.
Holy shit. The youngest ones are how old now?
Kevin and Nathan. Yeah.
And they're how old? Like
Kevin is 24 and Nathan's 23.
For sure. You think you're done?
Oh man, yeah, I'm done. I have another kid. Y'all gonna say, nigga, Draco dad on the roof, he finna jump. I'll jump off.
But I mean, at this point, you're already putting up NBA YoungBoy numbers. I mean, what's a few more, right?
Oh yeah, true that.
I mean, it's not like you're gonna be planning on it. It's just, it could just happen, right?
Jonathan, yeah.
Oh man, what, you're the kid you forgotten that?
Yeah. Shit.
Oh shit.
And he is Draco's twin. They're twins. They look exactly alike.
Right. So you were talking in that other interview about how there's an Instagram reel of you on stage at the concert. I think you weren't speaking, but it was something from your perspective that was kind of doing well, got like 100,000 something views, and then got taken down. Yeah. And you were alluding to the fact that somebody was responsible, but you weren't talking about Ralfy, I don't think. Oh, well, maybe we're a bit.
No, I'm just saying. Roll. So no, I'm not going. I don't have no proof of nothing anyway. But it got to 90,000 views, 100,000 because we were talking about that. And then next thing you know, the video gets taken down, and I'm like, Impatient TV. I said, okay, well, why'd he take it down? You know, I'm not. Hey, bro, you put the video up. You could take the video down if you want. I was just wondering why. Why did you take it down? It was getting some numbers. Ain't that what they do it for?
Sure. I mean,
so why did he take it down? So that means that somebody from that crew said, take that video down. And I got an idea who that somebody was. Yeah.
Interesting.
Somebody said, take that video down.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the feedback been since you did that other interview? Because I feel like people are probably like really fascinated to find out who Draco and Ralphie's dad is, but then they also understand that maybe you aren't on the best terms with Ralphie. So, I mean, is it a lot of love from the fan base, or is it some? Yeah,
well, okay. I was kind of like, my son Lorenzo was like, Dad, you read the comments? I'm like, no, I haven't read any of the comments. So I seen it was a bunch of comments. So once I started reading the comments, I would say that it was 90% people that was interested in the story positive, and there was probably about 10% of people, you know, the trolls and all that was saying what they had to say. I'm like, why would they say something like that? And he said, "Oh, Dad, they be is that the word?
Trolling, yeah.
Oh, did I say right? Trolling." He said, "No, Dad, they be trolling." I'm like, what? I said, what does that mean? What does trolling mean? What does that mean? Oh, they just saying whatever they can say to get some attention to piss you off. I'm like, how does that make? I still don't understand it.
Yeah, it's a weird world.
Yeah, like what do you mean? I mean, why would you speak on something that a person that you don't even know and say something just like that? Oh, Dad, that's how that. He's trying to explain it to me like, Dad, they do that because, you know, they got to get some attention, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, man, forget it now. I want to know.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling when you like look at a comment section on something you did and you just have like the most negative comments possible, but you also kind of know that they probably don't really feel that strongly about what they're saying. They're just saying something because that's the easiest way to get some likes or get some attention on whatever they're saying. You know, it's I can understand how that's tough to comprehend at a certain point. What how do you feel about what's been done so far to keep Draco's name alive? Obviously there's always these projects that come into place like once a rapper passes away where people are trying to, you know, figure out the right way to continue to bring money in for the family as well as promote their legacy, etc. Like, you know, obviously Ralfy's kind of at the helm of it. How do you feel about that?
I really appreciate all the people that support Draco the Ruler and all of the people who are his fans and stuff like that. I really feel that you guys are true supporters, and it's all good. It's all positive. It's all keep his name alive. Trust me, I'm the dad. You can't trust me. You don't really know me, but he was a good kid. He was a good kid. He had a good spirit, and that's why he smiled all the time. So he was a good kid, man.
Definitely. How do you have you ever listened to Rumble?
Yeah. The kid from San Pedro?
Yeah. You a fan?
Rimble, he was another guy who kind of sounded like Draco. So, you know, I just thought like that was like another person that Draco probably was like, okay, yeah, man, you kind of got this flow like what I'm doing, you know, let's do some stuff together. But, you know, he sounded pretty cool.
I actually didn't even think about it till now that the Rumble and Draco situation is exactly like the Mustard and Draco situation.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's the exact situation, but like a little bit down the road, and their roles have been reversed, where Draco now is trying to sign somebody, gives them a look, does a whole record with them, helps turn them up, and then that person doesn't want to sign to him, and he feels annoyed by it, which is exactly what Mustard did with him.
Yeah, the karma. Yes, it's crazy. Yeah, now that you said that, it is kind of like the exact same situation. Damn.
Yeah.
Think about that one.
Yeah, it's crazy how the situation could switch up like that.
And that kid that Rimple kid, he was like admired Draco, like Draco was doing Drake, you know what I'm saying? He was like listening to him, like, you know, that was a person that he looked up to, like, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it was pretty crazy because it's like Rumble came out with like really good music, a bunch of big records and everything, and then it kind of felt like after the Draco thing, it got kind of quiet, and then he came back doing this whole beefing with Ralfy and the Stinc Team thing, which was a little weird, you know, getting to see them do stuff that we haven't really seen him do. Ralfy's all of a sudden, he's in San Pedro. He's like, you know, filming selfie videos in the parking lot and shit. That was kind of wild to just be like, oh, okay. But I feel like, because I know Rumble's like dropping a new project or whatever. So I guess we're going to see like how much interest that people have. Because I think he's independent now too. So
he got some flow.
Yeah, he's a good rapper. He just needs to keep the situation going. I don't know though. The Draco issues kind of are like larger than life for a lot of the fans. You know, it's just going to be hard for them to ever like think of him as a rapper outside of that.
Right.
That's really kind of like the test of how his fan base is going to be over time, I think. Ralfy the Plug or AD?
I got to go with my son. I got to go with Ralfy. I got to go with Ralfy. You know what? And then somebody brought that to my attention. I said, well, who is this AD guy? I told Lorenzo, I said, send me his link so I can listen to his music. Let me judge.
Okay.
I'll be a fair judge. I think Ralfy has a little bit more swagger.
For sure.
I think he got a little bit more swagger, and I think he, you know what I'm saying? You know, Ralfy got his own style and stuff. So, yeah, I'm going Ralfy.
Okay. I respect that. Yeah. AD, I feel like AD would thrive more as a New York City rapper.
Yeah.
To me, he's got that sort of like.
I agree with that.
I don't know, like because he has a record that he put out like on the radar the other day, and I was listening to it on Instagram, and I was like, you know what, this just sounds like somebody who would be more appreciated in New York. Which I mean,
where's he originally from?
Compton.
Oh, Compton.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much all the questions. Oh, I did want to mention Ketchy because he was your nephew technically, right?
Ketchy? No, it wasn't my nephew, but I mean, he was just like, they would all come out there to my house out there in Riverside. Ketchy would always be quiet though. When he would come out there, he would be the one that would just listen and look. He wouldn't say nothing because you know how you guys see him and he's really aggressive in his rap songs and all that. But when he came out there to my house, he would just kick back and just wouldn't say nothing.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it's been wild just seeing how many different Stinc Team affiliates have kind of passed over the years. They lost Say So the Mac like earlier this year and everything. It is kind of wild. I mean, I don't know, like, what is your thoughts on that? Especially just, it's like the violence and the drugs kind of in equal measure almost.
That should be a message. That should be a very concrete, clear message. You guys are either going to jail or you're dying. Something has to change here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ralfy, I heard him have a bar the other day where he was talking about how the best thing he's done is stop drinking lean and popping pills and shit, which absolutely. It's nice to see him reaching the point in his life where he's got that mature of a perspective and he's able to realize that a lot of the stuff is just not good for him, you know? For sure. Okay, so I guess, I just realized Lush added a question to this. Ask him about Stickman, the president, who is Draco's older brother, who's a Christian rapper.
Yeah, that's who I brought here.
That's him?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's crazy. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, you're going to add him in. Oh, sick. Yeah, let's do that. That would be super interesting, yeah. Okay. Shit, okay. So you're Draco's older brother.
Yeah.
How old are you?
37.
37. Damn. So like you've been sitting there this whole time listening to this. I didn't realize that you were his older brother. Like what needs to be said that we haven't talked about? Like anything kind of stand out that is important to reference?
I mean, I have my separate stories as well of them, as you know. But I could say I'll say this. I remember like when I first knew, like I was like, yeah, he gonna be a little superstar. So because I used to play football. So I think it's around the time I was in junior college. But my dad, he threw a we had I think it was Daryl and Devontae, Draco and Ralfy, and then my other brothers and some other people there. But my dad had a dance contest. And these
You organized a dance contest?
We used to have little family gatherings. Yeah.
Yo, that's what I'm like. Yo, they going crazy, but Daryl stood out. He was going crazy. You know, he throwing his hands. He all clown edition. And he beat out Devontae and all the girls, everybody.
They get a prize.
And I was like, and he got money.
Yeah.
So, and that's when I knew I was like, oh, little bro, you know what I'm saying? He got it. So that was my little personal for him as far as that. But I got a whole bunch of different stories of little things that, you know, stood out. You know what I'm saying? I remember like, this was, I feel like, right around the time we kind of like, because we was looking for him for a long time.
Sorry, just the light went out.
Oh, it's all good.
They'll fix it in a second. You can just keep going.
Yeah, but so there was a point where we didn't know where they was at, you know what I'm saying? And you know, then I can't even remember exactly how we reconnected, but I feel like it was like around the time when like Facebook started popping off and stuff.
So wait, okay. How many years older than them are you?
I'm 6 years older than Daryl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like when he's telling the stories about them kind of just being out of control and being off the porch and shit, what's your role in that? Like,
he was my detective. He would find out where they were.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of because I was watching them. They was younger. I was beating them up, you know what I'm saying? All type of stuff. ordering. Yeah, I mean, at one point when they was, I think they was like around 6 or whatever. I was probably like 11, something like that. I would be. I mean, I'm the older brother. I'm ordering pizza. I'm doing all type of stuff. I'm beating them up. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time. I think my dad went to the club or something like that, and I was at the crib by myself.
A habitual clubber.
Yeah, he was a real lifer, like for real. Yeah. But so my brothers was there, my sister was there. I think Ivory, she was with her mom. She was with her mom a lot. But I ordered some pizza. They came through, and Daryl and my younger sister Valencia, they got into a little fight, and Daryl scratched her. She still got the scratch on her eye till today, but Daryl clawed her up real good. I had to knock him out, like boom, bow, you know what I'm saying, real quick.
You never told me that story.
Yeah. She still got the scar on her face to this day, but Daryl was he was feisty, you know what I'm saying? He was his own man.
So, like, were you guys super close, or was it a little bit of distance between you because of the age gap and shit? Like, especially as they get older and are outside and they're becoming rappers and everything.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, when we was younger, we was all close, but yeah, like you said, distance kind of creates separation. But we was always, like my dad said, whenever he got a tip, hey, I heard they on Vermont. We'll hop in the car. We out of here. Like, for real. That was like a real life thing. You know what I'm saying? We drive it down to, you know what I'm saying, trying to figure out where they at.
Tell them the time that we caught them coming across Normandy. And I said, they ran.
And they saw us and skirted off. Peeled off on us.
I've never seen kids' feet move that fast. They was running. So I didn't even think kids could run that fast.
They was definitely, told like, they was told, like, if you see your dad, you know what I'm saying, get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was, for sure.
Definitely. So by the time they really start popping off as rappers, though, were you close with them at that time, or like being around during that era?
I was trying my hardest. I had my own stuff going on. I was in sports. So, like, when I would come home from college or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I try to tap in or whatever. When they was in jail, because it was a tough little spot where I was in college. I come back home, and then they in jail. So I would try my hardest to try to get, you know what I'm saying, go to one of their court dates or whatever. Like Daryl. I went to his last court date right before the day he got out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, I would try to show up. I put money on
Ralph. They was thinking every time he was on court, they would think he was Ralph.
Yeah, they was on me.
They was like, wait,
yeah, they kept staring at me
like right now.
Right. Yeah, they kept staring at me. They was on me. Yeah, they made me get my ID, all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
But why do you think there was that distance? Did they see you as being closer with your dad? So to them, it was kind of, they didn't feel that closeness to you?
Nah,
was there like mom side and dad side in the family kind of?
No, we had our own relationship too. Like, I mean, it just kind of like jail kind of like separates you. Like, they was in their own mentality. They had their own shit going on. But I mean, at one point I would go pick up, Daryl. I would try to take Daryl and Devontae, but I'll pick up Daryl and go drop him off at my sister's house. And I got another story where I'm just driving. We randomly driving. And I'm taking them to my sister's house to kind of like spend some time with them. We try to rekindle and try to be an older brother. So we just driving, and then randomly he I can't remember. I think he rolled down the window and he looked at me and was like, "Man, I'm about to get a Maserati." I'm like, he's like 13 or 14, something like that. I'm like, I was like, man, you gotta start somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, nah, I'm gonna get a Maserati, I don't care. I was like, this dude funny, man. But he always had high ambition. I gotta respect him for it, man. But yeah, like, we had those little times where we was trying to build a relationship, but I think jail kind of like kept, and then he was in the hole where he couldn't talk to nobody at one point in time. And I think, I think both of my brothers, I think anytime you go to jail and you get out, it's just like, you know what I'm saying, who was there for me, or, you know what I'm saying? So I think, you know what I'm saying, I can't be mad at nobody for feeling a certain type of way, but I always try to, you know what I'm saying, have timestamps of trying to show up. You know what I'm saying?
I have something to say on that.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, we have to stop with that playing victim. because that's that's the card right there. Wasn't nobody around when I was in jail, but when you trapping and you doing all your stuff, you spending the money, and you ain't around nobody. So let's just keep it 100. But at the end of the day, don't use that plain victim card to separate yourself from your family. It doesn't matter. You made it. You're good now. The money is only as good as, at the end of the day, the people you help with it. Because once you get, people that don't realize that is the people who ain't never had anything. Would you say that's fair, Adam? People that are rich, they know that this is not really true happiness. It's not real true happiness. So now you got a bunch of things. You just sit around all day and look at them, and you pointing to the thing. Oh no, that's not making me happy. That's not it.
But you kind of have to get to that point of having all your material needs satisfied, and then some, for you to sort of realize oh, this is not, because most people will spend their whole life trying to get rich and they never will. But meanwhile, the pursuit of it will occupy 99% of their brain, so it's they never really get to see what that's like. At a certain point, getting money as a person who doesn't really have a lot of material desires, I just kind of realized oh, I'm so glad that I got enough money to realize that past a certain point, it's not really making you much happier. But them at that point, they're still building to that level of comfortability, and they're living unbelievably expensive lifestyles. Let's be totally real. If you're drinking lean and moving around buying $800 shoes all day, you need a lot of money to feel you got money at that point.
So if you were in your house right now, Adam, what would be in your house that you would pick and say, now that's it, that's what makes me happy? What would it be?
Nothing.
See,
I got a kid and a girl, and that's
that's my point.
When we thought for 5 minutes that the fires might be approaching our house, and I kind of thought what do I have that I need? It was there's nothing. I don't give a about any of that shit.
That's the only thing that I would say that's in my house that I would say that's it is my drum set. That's it.
Actually, yeah, I would take my laptop.
Yeah, okay, so laptops.
Just being
all
able
this
to
expensive
answer
stuff and
emails
just a
and
laptop
shit,
and a pair of drumsticks.
Definitely gotta take a laptop for sure.
Yeah. As long as I got access to the internet, I'll be all right. To be totally honest.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
So where do you stand on the sort of dueling narratives about your pops? On one hand, it's he's saying that he wanted to be there and it was just too tough with the mom. And then Ralfy clearly kind of feels not enough effort was put forth.
I think that's the reason why we're here, is to kind of close that gap and kind of give everybody information. I think, when you growing up and you a kid, man, you trying to, that's all you know is what you know. You know what I'm saying? But everybody got a story, and, for it to be put out there, that I feel that's going to, I think that could lead to bringing everybody together, in my opinion. But I think, there's a lot of, I was there. You know what I'm saying?
And you're a bit older observing it, 6 years older watching how this is playing out.
I was there when they would be arguing, I was there when a lot of that was going on. I was there, you know what I'm saying? We really lived in the hood. You know what I'm saying? We go outside, it's niggas outside hitting weights some real West Coast, you know what I'm saying, baby boy type shit.
Where I
you know
lived,
what I'm saying?
It was the set. So everybody, my house is where all the homies was out there. I had the weights out there. Everybody would sit out there all day long lifting weights, and they all hung out at my house. My house was that's the spot.
Yeah, we was really in the hood, and I really knew Darlene I've been knowing Darlene for a long time. So I've seen a lot of the good and the bad. And I think, it's just information that just needs to get out there so that, honestly, it ain't nothing but a discussion. It ain't nothing but, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's our bloodline. So when my brother passed away on some real shit, I felt my blood leaving. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just here to just be here, you know what I'm saying? It's really to bring the family closer, honestly. Cause you ain't nothing without your family. Your blood gonna be with you there. You know what I'm saying? You need your blood. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to have friends and all of these different people, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I feel all of that is could just wither away like a storm. You need people that's your bloodline, cause your bloodline is your kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep the kingdom together. So all the other shit is minute. Well, you go, niggas got to stick together. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and I'm carrying on the legacy. I'm rapping. I make books. I write books. I make clothes. Shit, this shit ain't over.
You resent the Christian rapper label?
Yeah, that's out.
That's a lush.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? I respect it, and you know what I'm saying? Like my dad said, the first person that introduced me to God was my grandma, his mother. So at the end of the day, shit, you know what I'm saying? We all need a little bit of something to believe in, whether you care or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go out believing what I'm going to believe. You go out believing what you going to believe. At the end of the day, there ain't no losses. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's how I feel.
Did you ever talk to Draco about God?
Nah. When I talk to him, he probably like in jail. And I'm like, hey, nigga, keep your head up. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head up. You know what I'm saying? That was like, I feel like one of the last time I talked. I feel like that was like 2018 or something like that.
Tell him the story where Duro told you. He said something. I'm gonna kill you or something. What did he tell you? Remember?
Oh yes, that was.
That sounds like a good one.
Nah, so yeah, my sister had a I think it was like a prom party or something like that, and we went over there. That was like in like 2015 or something like that. And yeah, we was still trying to, you know what I'm saying, close the gap, trying to, you know what I'm saying, spend some time with our siblings and stuff. And this was really like, they was just starting to like really kind of create a buzz and stuff. They wasn't really popping like that, but they was kind of creating a buzz, you know. But anyways, I was over there, you know, try to spend some time, show some support for my sister Ivory, and Daryl was there, and Devontae and all his homies was there. I was whooping their ass in NBA 2K. But anyways, yeah. So Daryl, damn, I could say this. Oh yeah, I could say that. So anyways, Daryl had like an AK. And yeah, he just in the background fucking around, like just, you know, like shooting it in the air and shit. Like,
wait, how old was he?
He was I mean, I was like 27 or something like that.
So he was 20.
Yeah, so yeah.
Shooting an AK in a house?
Nah, outside the house. They had like a little back part. If you see some of their videos, they be in the back squabbling.
Yeah,
that's where all of him and his homies be kicking it.
Holy shit.
So yeah, Daryl was in the back, you know what I'm saying, around. And I walked by him. I'm like, you better get that shit out my face. And he was like, nigga, I'll shoot you. I'm like, bitch, you better keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's how he was. That was his sick humor. But it was like, I understood it because I be, you know what I'm saying, that's the way I around. So I'm like, you know, like, bitch, get out my face, you know. But nah, that's my brother. That's I understood it. I'm just saying, we all like very close in birthdays. We all Sagittarius. So like my dad's a Sagittarius, I am, and so is my brother Daryl.
Me too.
Bingo.
You are?
November 24th.
November 23rd.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What year?
87.
83.
My God. But yeah, man. So like we all have very similar personalities, like, you know, outgoing, but also you could be, you know, chill and shit. But yeah, that's how he communicate. That's how we communicate. We will always just talk shit to each other, you know. And I even do that shit with you know, Devontae, Ralfy every once in a while when when I see him, it's always shit talking. I'm talking shit to all my siblings. That's just how I am.
So are you and Ralfy not really in communication?
Nah, I mean, I just saw him at my sister's baby shower.
Oh, okay.
So like, you know, yeah, I mean, we was cool. We always cool. I went to his, he invited me to his kid's birthday party, all of that. So, I mean, we ain't super, super close, but, you know, I think everything takes time. You know, I think everything takes time because, yeah, time heals everything.
Do you ever tell him like, hey, you gotta give Pops a chance?
Nah, I think that's, I think that's their own battle to work out. You know what I'm saying? But I do try to lead by example. So, you know what I'm saying? I do try to like keep everybody together. I call, you know what I'm saying? Hey, my dad just how he is. You know what I'm saying? So some people you got to meet them where they at. You know what I'm saying?
Just so Dub say, I always got an attitude.
Oh, that's what Dub. Yeah, he was trying to figure out like what, you know what I'm saying? What's up with your pops? You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's just how that nigga is. You know what I'm saying? He ain't just trusting in everybody. That nigga a street nigga, and you know what I'm saying? He a real individual. So he gonna read you until, you know what I'm saying, the book start making sense. You know what I'm saying? The book start making sense. He like, oh, okay, for sure. You know what I'm saying? I keep reading. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, actually, last time I seen him, he was really cool.
Dub?
Yeah. He was actually, I think that was another thing. They was Ralfy had probably deliberately been like, okay, my dad come, make sure he keep him back. You know, I don't know, but
I think Ralfy trying to like shadow ban you kind of?
Yeah. Is that the new slang? Is that the new slang, shadow ban? Okay, so yeah, that would be it.
Well, that's what I was thinking about when I heard you talking about him having your the mother speak at the concert and you were on stage but weren't really giving the mic or anything.
Dub was like, man, come on, man, you coming to the front.
Right.
Like, okay.
Shout out Desto Dub.
Shout out Desto Dub.
I mean, Dub is kind of like the ultimate dude in terms of getting along with everybody. Everybody I know got beef with everybody else, and somehow Dub is like the one person I know who manages to stay pretty much on good terms with everybody.
He turned out to be a really cool guy.
I don't know him like that, but every time I, meet him, every time I, talk to him, he's super cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Super cool.
It's good too. Cause
so
it's
what did he say about me? He was telling AI, she said, man, your dad be tripping.
Like that nigga, he basically was just saying like, basically why that nigga be trying to set trip or, he said some shit like that, similar to that.
Well, you banged on somebody at the concert?
Basically, my dad just be standoffish, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I probably did. I probably did bang on him when I seen him.
You know what I'm saying? My dad be standoffish and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? He not. And then you got to think about it like this, Ralfy and all his crew and, my dad, it's kind of like, we ain't seen this nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I could kind of like see, everybody kind of like, trying to figure out how to meet in the middle.
They was coming to Riverside to barbecues and all of that over there.
Well, those are people that we talking. That's the original Stinc Team.
Oh, the ones that had
they got a whole bunch.
The
of
original ones
now.
that had the fixie bikes.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I told Ralfy, I said, bro, I know the original Stinc Team, bro. The ones that had the fixie bikes before the hoverboards.
Ooh,
it's a lot of new.
So many dated references.
Yeah, because it went from the
jerkins, fixies, and hoverboards.
Yes.
That was an era right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Hoverboard, that's crazy.
Oh man, there was a while there where you weren't getting no pussy unless you had a hoverboard.
That's right.
The guys getting all the pussy with a hoverboard.
Now you can get them online for $5.
Yeah,
with the cord and everything.
bro. There's like old Soulja Boy music videos of him rapping, just going back and forth on the hoverboard, like in the driveway and shit.
I think I'm like traumatized from seeing Mike Tyson just bust his ass that one time in his living room. He was hoverboarding, trying to be cool, and boom.
Yeah, they
feet in the air.
You gotta be paying attention on the hoverboard.
I've never been on one.
You never.
I don't think so.
Man.
Like, maybe I try to step on one.
Hey, you guys gotta get him on the hoverboard and film it, man.
I mean, it looks fun. Yeah. I mean, I'm not against it for sure.
Like, you gotta catch your rhythm and stuff, like rock back in.
But there's still like dudes out there that you'll see them. They got like the black circle thing. It's just like a circle, and they just have little pedals.
One wheel,
and it's just a guy like this going through traffic fast as fuck. Some people holding on to it. I was with my kid on Melrose the other day, and she said, "What's that?" And I just had no idea how to explain it.
It's kind of like you want to say it's a unicycle, but like upgraded unicycle.
I was like, it's just like a wheel that the dude stands on. He goes really fast. I felt like such an idiot. I needed to like access the AI in order to give any sort of coherent answer.
You gotta be a different breed too to hop on one of them things now. I see everybody on the electric bikes now.
Yeah.
That's the new wave.
Yeah, they on the electric bikes. They pushing.
Yeah. That's like the pussification of our country right there.
Yeah,
it's like,
for real.
damn, you ain't even going to develop your leg muscles and just crank through. Like, to me, that was always the fun part about bikes. Is like just fucking
you ain't pushing
pedaling, man.
Right.
Yeah.
We got the pegs, you know what I'm saying? We hitting wheelies. We building ramps.
Yeah.
What?
Put a motor on it.
Right.
Hold on. Okay, so you never made music with Draco?
Nah, I didn't start making music till 2020.
Okay.
So yeah, I was playing sports for a long time. I was playing football. I went to college for, I had a scholarship for sports and football. So yeah, I mean that wasn't really my thing. I mean, my dad, like you said, he taught us to like, what I'm saying, the fundamentals and stuff. So at one point I wanted to, play the drums, and I thought I was a drummer. I went out in elementary, and what I'm saying, I kept getting suspended because I was fighting a lot. And so I got kicked off the drum team, and I just started playing sports after that. And then out of nowhere, I don't know, man, it was kind of like I don't know, some kind of whisper or some shit. Like something just told me, hey, pull over and start writing. I'm like, all right. So I just started writing. We was already indoors, pandemic and all of that. So that's kind of how everything started taking off. One of my homegirls came to the house. She was like, she saw my, my rhymes and stuff. She was like, nigga, you need to get in the studio. I'm like, all right. For sure. So that's kind of how it took off. And I had reached out to my brother, like, to say congratulations when he first got out. Because I had, and to tell him, like, I was at your court date. You know what I'm saying? But, I think he was just trying to, like, I'm out, and like so I was trying to also give him his little space. And that's another thing I always have regrets about. It's like, damn, man, maybe I should have, just kept reaching out, and, you know what I'm saying? Even if I like, just on some aggressive shit, like, that's my brother, like.
Because he was trying to move Kevin into that mansion they had. Right before he died.
Right, because it's so easy to, like, especially these days with social media and everything, it's just so easy to, like, have somebody that you want to have a close relationship with, and you just got mad shit going on, and you just don't really build that. But also think about where he was at, is that he's just did a bunch of jail time, like probably super in the head from being in solitary for mad long. He's also got this whole drug thing going on with the lean and the perks and the whatnot, which and then he's also like becoming rapidly more famous. These are three things that I could see very easily kind of making you less likely to be thinking about family.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, I believe that too. I believe that he just needed time, and time just kind of ran out.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like, all of us, we all just need more time. But unfortunately for my brother, that shit just kind of clocked out on him. But yeah, I think we're all naturally as humans, we gonna have that kind of like, fuck, I wish I could have done this more. I wish, back in the day, I wish I, would have, Because I remember one time he called me. It was in the middle of the night. It's probably like 2 a.m. And I can't remember. I think I had practice or some shit. I had to get up. I had to be up. And he like, hey, man, I need you to come through. You know what I'm saying? I need you to come through and come scoop me up. He was at some kind of party, and I think it was with a whole bunch of enemies or some shit like that. I just need you to come get me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, I can't come. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so I kind of have regrets about that type of shit. I think about stuff like that.
I mean, I feel like almost nobody on their deathbed feels like they spent enough time with their parents or with their loved ones. Everybody, that's like probably across the board. When you lose somebody, that's what you feel like, is like, why did I not spend more time connecting with this person?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy because it's like, I don't want to take anything away from how Ralfy feels. Like, if he feels like he has a grievance, then it is what it is. He has every right to feel that way. But at the same time, especially with him like doing the streaming thing and like being a podcaster, being on camera and shit, like I hope that there's something in him that is open to the idea of like, really having a conversation with you, or like rebuilding that. Cause I feel like I would love to see that, but I don't know exactly where he's at in terms of everything. But I feel like as you become an adult, you can look at your pops and say, even if I really genuinely feel like there are things that you did that make you a f***ed up person in my mind, that I can still kind of put that on the shelf for the benefit of, building something here, or just still having that connection, because you really only get one dad or one mom. It's like, that's
absolutely
the craziest, most important bond,
Ralfy just running, you know what I'm saying? He know who the best rapper in the family is. And we know the truth.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's how you'll draw him out.
right, I'm like, come out and play because you already know if we get on any beat, it's done.
Family cipher?
You know what I'm saying? It's done. It's over. Nah, I'm talking shit, but I mean what I'm saying though.
Yo, that would be insane. Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, anything else you guys want to cover? Anything that is important to let the people know?
Man, karma. Remember that. Karma.
Yeah.
Tapping all my social media, Stickman and President, all of that shit. Run it up, and I'm going crazy. That part.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Michael Blackshire _ on Instagram. I used to work for this major news company. I don't want to say their name right now, but that's how I connected with him. I saw him at the Draco the Ruler event 2023. Mm-hmm. He was the one dancing on stage. Mm-hmm. I was like, who's that? Next thing I know, I found that's the dad. But no one said it. Like, you was there, I think, that day, 2023. No one interviewed him. All these big internet people, journalists was there. And I was like, that guy has a story. So from there, I was for like a year and a half, we kept working on the story. At first, I wanted to be like a documentary. I still got all the footage. But for right now, it's like, let me just put the video up on YouTube and interview him. Because I feel like we went to that event last December, and the mom spoke on stage. And he was on the stage with them, but he wasn't able to speak. So I was like, he needs a voice. He needs his story told as well. So from there, I was like, let me just do it one day, like on a Sunday, I just edit the video up like in 3 or 4 hours, put it up, and went from there. And it's here we are now.
Oh wait, I just realized. Okay, you're the one who did the interview.
I'm the journalist who did the interview. I'm out here talking, rambling. Yeah, I'm the one who did the interview.
Okay, you're like, okay. I thought you were talking about like a video they were planning on putting out in the future. Nah. You did the existing.
I did the existing interview, but we like went footage. We went to the funeral home before. We went to the tattoo parlor. Like we probably could make a documentary at this point. Like even me and you at this point. Guitar Center. Literally, I got hours of footage, but I was like, I just got to put this interview out because that's like the best way to get traction is you just put it out and put it on YouTube.
It's interesting because it's like part of me feels like, oh, this is important for the Draco fans to understand like who he is and where he came from and everything like that. And then at the same time, like when I asked Ralfy for his dad's number, he did not send me the number. I had to get the number through a fan page. So the fan page sent me his Instagram, you know, but I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't feel like it's too like intrusive to have like all his family lore kind of put out there. But, you know, I'm not taking anything away from how he feels about how his childhood went or anything like that. But I do think that, you know, it's an important story to tell, especially when, you know, you see somebody like FBG Duck's mom. She's like just literally popped out and just became this social media personality after he got killed. I mean, it is like something that, you know, the fans want to understand their legends like that, you know?
Yeah, it was more the fact that I would see these interviews with Ralfy or even Draco back in the day, or I would see like Trapper Ross video or other people's videos, and I felt like there was zero mention of like the father whatsoever because no one had any idea to the interview. Like I would see all these you know, hood war story videos talking about Draco's past, and none of them would mention like a dad whatsoever. And that guy has like a crazy story. Like
Draco was raised without his pops.
That's usually how it go. It'll go like, oh, it was the mom. It was just the mom in his life. Hopped off the porch early at 5 with just a single mom. It was like no mention of a dad whatsoever. So I just feel like that story needs to be told because a lot of people not telling stories about black dads out there. And when we went on that stage in December, you know, he's there. Even that event, like nobody even, only a few people even talked to him then. No one put 2 and 2 together. No one put, this might be Draco's dad. No one put 2 and 2 together. 2023, no one put 2 and 2 together. 2024, I was like, we got to put this story up. We got to put this story up. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.
No. Shout out Ralfy.
Shout out to Ralfy.
That's not
his real name.
Devontae.
Almost like calling him that. Devontae the plug.
Devontae the plug. That's catchy.
The show. All right. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. And everybody, if you want to do further homework, you should definitely go check out that original interview.
Original interview, then this interview, and Michael Blackshire _ on Instagram. And we, you know, there's a long story, a lot of stories, you know, we haven't even mentioned today. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Shout out Adam.
Yo, look at this shirt. I just want to let the people see this shirt because everybody's gonna be wondering what it said. Where did you actually get this, or did you make this?
Oh yeah, I got my own little positive. I'm starting a positive campaign, reconstructing for the kids. Youngsters, and all of the shirts gonna be something positive.
Got it.
Shout out the OG.
Definitely for sure one of the biggest shirts I've ever seen.
Yeah, I have to make the shirt big, y'all, so y'all can read it.
Yeah, that's legendary. All right, yo, I appreciate you sharing the story with us and everything, man. It's been illuminating, and in my head, the poetic Cinderella story version of this would be basically like you guys all reuniting, and then boom, this interview solves everything. I don't know how likely that is, but who knows?
Never know.
You never know.
Never know, man.
Never know.
You never know.
Game by go.
All right, man. Tulo, Stickman.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming through. And shout out to the whole world out there. We know the truth.
We know the truth.
No Jumper. Coolest podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe. You know what's interesting? The light turned off in the middle of the podcast. That almost never happens. But remember the first interview I did with him? We forgot to turn the lights on. So it's like weirdly dark in the room. Like we didn't realize until like much later. But I felt like that was a sign. That was that was, for sure. As an atheist, I could say that was a God thing. That was him coming down and turning the light off to be like, yo, just like my interview. That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Oh shit.
For sure.
Hey man.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
For sure.
Shout out to Everything 420. It's like the Amazon for everything that you need to get lifted. Whatever your vibe is, their app makes it super easy for you to shop for your next sesh. Shipping is fast, the packaging is super low key, and they're always running deals. Tap into the app and use code NOJUMPER to get a little something off. Shout out to Everything 420.